All right. Can everyone hear me? Hey, Michelle. Hey, Dee. Okay. Can y'all hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Okay. Who is admin? Is that me for some reason?
I think usually the host is the admin.
Yeah. All right.
It's me.
Let's try.
Me an admin.
Hi, Dee. All right. So I don't know if everyone's going to be on today, but I figured I wanted to just see everyone for the first time in a while and check in and make sure that you know I'm thinking about you, and make sure you know I'm grateful for you, and see if you wanted to share some scripts or tactics of what is working and what is not working. So we have a Michelle has been making calls and building her profit share tree for probably 2 years, maybe a little bit more than 2 years, with myself. And Dee has been with KW for a couple of years and has an interest in working some of these systems as well. Is that a rough assessment of who we have on the call?
Yep.
Cool. So I just want to start by making a quick sidebar comment that has nothing to do with profit share. But I don't know if you guys saw, pretty much every single publicly traded real estate firm is like, was down between 20 and 40% yesterday. Okay. Realogy, who owns ERA, Coldwell Banker, Sotheby's, Better Homes and Gardens, and Century 21, their stock was just a hair above $2 a share. They lost a couple of $100 million in market capitalization yesterday. They have a total market cap of a little over 300 million right now. All of those firms combined. Okay. You don't know how lucky you are to be at Keller Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you might have to share this with the people that you're in relationship with. And I say that because if a company just lost a couple of $100 million and their investors are freaking out, do you think that they're in a position to make a tech play right now that would come anywhere close to competing with what Command and KW are doing? No. Okay. Pretty much overnight, Redfin stops iBuying, Zillow stops iBuying, Compass, they're no longer hiring independent agents. They only want to hire agents that are going to join a team. They've completely shut down their concierge, or I'm sorry, their bridge loan program, and have highly restricted their concierge program. Okay. When you have a shaky business model and other people control the purse strings, okay, that's when what's the phrase? The hen comes to roost or something like that. Like you have to be profitable. If you're not profitable, the investors come for their cash, and then it doesn't look pretty. Okay, so all those companies that have pissed off shareholders that their stock is down and they want returns, they're going to have to do what makes money quickly. And do you know what those two things are? Neither one of which happen to benefit the agent. Number one is they cut costs, right? How is that going to help an agent, especially in this type of environment, right? It's not going to help them at all. Hang on. It's not going to help a real estate agent at all when the real estate brokerage who is supposed to be their business partner can't spend any money and can't retain the talented people that used to work there, right? And do you think that they're able to invest in tech platforms and other strategies and technology and systems and training and coaching and all that stuff that are going to help agents build their business? No. They're cutting people that work in the company. and they're going to try to run their building on a shoestring budget until they can't keep it open anymore, right? And the only other way to make the stock price go up, by the way, is to collect more money. And by the way, where do you think that's coming from? That's coming from the agent's commissions. There's no other way to get it, especially when every retail investor just pulled out because they're freaking out. So again, in summary, you don't know how lucky you are to be at Keller Williams. We're a privately held company, and to be part of Gary Keller's team, where he is offering half off of MAPS contracts and these kind of things, and sending out his task force to do all the things that need to get done, and to quickly pivot Bold and quickly pivot Ignite and quickly pivot all these daily trainings. That stuff's not happening in other firms. So if you're uneasy about your current situation, or if some of the people you're courting are uneasy about their current situation, you might need to have some of these dialogues with them. Does anyone have any thoughts on that?
I try not to talk about the other companies unless someone actually specifically brings those up, because I feel like I don't ever want to speak negatively unless someone specifically asks me something.
Right. I would tend to follow that comment exactly. And I don't think you don't have to say, hey, did you see Rheology stock is down? You could just say, a lot of our competitors are publicly traded firms that have exposure to the stock markets. And we all know what's going on in those environments right now, right? The Keller Williams is a privately held company. We're able to make investments based on what we feel is best for our agent. So you don't have to bring up names or talk negatively, but I do think it's not out of line to highlight our differences.
Okay.
So I want to just, first of all, I think this is a great format to check in. I don't know, maybe you guys, we can check in as frequently as you want, but I'm thinking maybe once a month or something like that. I'd love an opportunity to have a forum where people are celebrating their successes. You know, if we have it on WhatsApp or a text chain or something like that. You know, I will tell you that this company and all of you, I'm incredibly grateful for all the minutes and hours that you have spent on the phone and courting these agents and making sure they appear in your downline and growing your passive income and my passive income. I'll be grateful forever, and my grandkids will be grateful for you. And I'd love to celebrate your successes. I know, Michelle, maybe, I don't know if you mind sharing it. What type of profit share did you earn last year?
Oh, I don't remember. Somewhere between 6,000 and 7,000, I think.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, just to do some really quick math, I'm going to bore you guys for like the next 45 seconds, but in order to receive passive income, let's just say it's 6,000. Okay. A financial planner would tell you got a withdrawal rate of around 3%, which means that if you got $100,000 in an investment, you can expect to take about $3,000 in passive income, right? And without affecting the balance of your account. So let's just double that. You had to have $200,000 in an investable account in order to withdraw the $6,000 that you earned. The cool part about it is you never earned the money to then save the money to earn the money to pay taxes on the money to save the money to spit it out, right? So you might say this is a little strange math, but think about it this way. What if you have the equivalent of having $200,000 in some investable account? The only way that's going to get there is by you earning the money and saving it. The average American would be lucky to save 10% of their income. So that's the equivalent of you earning $2 million to put $200,000 in the bank somewhere. But you had to pay taxes too. So that's the equivalent of you earning $4 million, paying taxes on that to be left with $2 million, right? To then save 10% of that money, to then have it spit out your $6,000 for the year. That's a powerful way of thinking about how this money works, right? This is the best opportunity that Keller Williams has, and I've taken advantage of a lot of them. So again, I appreciate everything you're doing. I want to support you however I possibly can. However hard you want to push down the gas, I am more than happy to provide resources and to provide tips and strategies to brainstorm scripts. You know, there's a lot of things that we could do in this type of environment. I mean, there are those Zoom calls, for example, a lot of these Zoom calls that we're seeing, and I'm happy to teach like wealth building Zoom calls or profit share Zoom calls or any type of calls, really, models, systems, scripts, whatever it is. We can invite people to these classes and have them have their businesses be improved, right? I know a lot of us are talking to new agents, but you know, as team leader, I was doing a lot of calls to experienced agents, right? If I were to ask you, let's just have some fun. Dee, can I pick on you for a second? All right, if I was just a random person and I called you up and I said, so Dee, tell me a little bit about your real estate business. Why don't you share some stuff with me about your real estate business?
I'm still very busy right now, thank God. I'm still writing contracts and listing, and I came to this from an admin background, and it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me, and it just keeps growing, and I don't expect this to slow me down.
I love that. I love that. So a couple things I heard there. Number one is you have a story to share, right?
Yeah.
I believe that the other people on the call also have a story to share, whether it's something that your affiliation with Keller Williams has created a passive income stream, or your affiliation with Keller Williams has helped you think differently, or be a better spouse or leader or parent, or you've been able to make donations to a charity, you've been able to travel to places you never thought you could travel to, whatever it may be. Think about what opportunity this company has provided for you and then how you've taken advantage of it. And then the more you share that, the more people will hear it, obviously, and the more they will say, oh my gosh, no one's ever talked to me about business building or leadership or contribution or passive income or hiring people or any of that kind of stuff, right? The average agent, if you ask them about their business, they will complain within a minute, right? And their complaints will sound something like this. I either do not have enough business or I have too much business, right? And if you do not have enough business, here are some of the topics you might be interested in. Lead generation, lead follow-up, systems, scripts, accountability, models, technology. Is there any company out there that you believe has a leg up on Keller Williams for those topics?
Nope.
I don't think so either. All right, let's try the other one. I asked somebody about their business and they say, oh my gosh, I'm slammed. Well, what's the thing that hurts the most? Time, right? Most people, their complaints revolve around one of two things, management of money and management of time, right? And as you are building your business, you generally speaking have more time than money. And that's why you do all the jobs. And at some point, I think you're probably knocking on the door of this, is you are beginning to have a little bit more money than time, right? So what are you going to do about it?
Leverage.
There you go. So is there any firm out there that you believe has a leg up on Keller Williams when it comes to business building, hiring, leverage, personality assessments, hiring, firing, training, supporting?
Nope.
Is there any other company that has a leg up on Keller Williams for that?
Nope.
Of course not. And so it's like going to the doctor. You go to the doctor, you say, hey, my buyer presentation sucks. Okay, go to this class. Your listing presentation sucks. Go to this class. Your arm hurts. Go there. Your leg hurts. Go there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And we've got the capital to make it, to transition it in the world of iBuyers and concierge service and tech companies and Zillow and all that. Do you think that Coldwell Banker and ERA and Century 21 are financially equipped to pivot as fast as we're able to pivot in this type of coronavirus environment? Not a chance. So if you ask your people how they're doing and what they're doing well and what they're struggling with, they're going to tell you what the chief complaint is, right? So when you go to the doctor, the doctors are trained to basically find out what your chief complaint is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why are you here? I got it. Something's in my eyes. I got some kind of infection in the eye, right? And then they give you I ask you a bunch of questions about what is wrong with the eye. Oh, it's dry. Oh, it started hurting last week, right? And they diagnose you. It's basically it's like our form of a needs analysis, or it's our form of pre-qualifying a buyer prospect or a seller prospect, right? You're trying to figure out what hurts the most in these people's businesses so that you can prescribe the appropriate medication. Okay, well, selling $4 or $5 million worth of homes. I can tell you what, if you're selling $4 or $5 million worth of real estate and you're doing it alone, life is tough. It's tough. I mean, that's roughly where you are, right, Dee?
Yeah, that's exactly where I am right now. Yes.
Right. So you've reached that pinnacle where you have more money than time right now.
Yes.
And now it's time to start paying people to do things you don't enjoy doing anymore.
Exactly.
Some of which might be real estate related and some of which may not be real estate related.
Mm-hmm.
Either form of leverage, it would be helpful for you at this moment.
Yes.
Right. Well, these are conversations that you could have with other real estate agents, right? You're a social woman. You're at networking events, and you're at on Facebook groups, and you're out in the community, and you're out doing transactions, right? Every single realtor that you're in touch with has one of two problems. They either don't have enough leads or they got too many leads.
Okay.
Right. And meanwhile, these are scripts, by the way, that you could and should be having with the people that you're courting.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Because they all have the same issues. Right. I was in a class once with Gary, and he wrote this. He went like this. Okay. Can y'all see this? What is that?
Triangle.
Okay. Everything in Keller Williams is in the shape of a triangle.
It is, yes.
Okay. And he wrote the following. Can everyone see what that says? At the bottom, it says 0 to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Up here, or over here, it says 2 to 5. And here it says 5 and more. What this means is I can tell you simply by knowing how much money you make what your biggest problem is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If your volume is between 0 and 2 million, you have a leads issue. Nothing else matters. You need more leads.
Mm-hmm.
So the conversation needs to be around what are some best practices to generate leads, right? If you're selling between $2 and $5 million worth of real estate each year, you have a listings issue. Your business is probably not focused enough on the listing side, and your systems and strategies and technology aren't, and checklists and all that stuff are probably more on the buyer side than listing side, and it's eating too much of your time. And if you're at the $5 million mark or more, you have a leverage issue. Okay. All the things that you need to be talking about are business building, keeping the financials straight, having talent related conversations, getting into career visioning. So Dee and I took career visioning a couple weeks ago together.
Mm-hmm.
Is that class not awesome?
It was amazing.
Right.
Amazing.
So probably the best content Keller Williams got, taught by the best teacher Keller Williams got. And when you leave that room, you're like on fire. Right?
Yes. Yes.
Now, the big question is, and I'm not going to put you on the spot, but when you leave a class, you got to go do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, you do.
So write down what's the one thing I learned today that I'm going to implement into my business, no question, that is going to move the needle for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you know something about somebody's business, you say, hey, what was your goal last year? Oh, my goal was to sell 25 homes. Well, how many did you sell? Well, I sold 7. Woo! So what was your biggest challenge? Well, I have no confidence generating leads. Interesting. Okay. Who do you have in your world that's helping you with that? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is another way of saying, why isn't your coach helping you with that? And they don't have a coach. Or why isn't your broker helping you with that? And they don't have a broker, or a broker that's doing anything to help them. Right? So
Mm-hmm.
you're putting these ideas into their head that it's not, it doesn't have to be that way. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know if, we're kind of improvising a little bit with the content of this, but
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to get you guys together, and I didn't mean for it to be like lecture style, but I wanted to put some ideas into your head about thinking like business owners, not only for all of you who are running your own business, real estate businesses, but just to have top of mind that, I mean, literally, probably 99% of the agents that you are in contact with are not on track to hit their goals.
Okay.
And probably 75% don't even know what a goal is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And as I have said to each of you, because I probably said it to 1,000 or 2,000 people that I was courting over the years, is I think we all got into this business for one primary reason, and that's to have the best quality of life possible, whatever that means to you, right?
Yeah.
If it's a financial need, if it's a time need, if it's a family need, if it's a charity need, whatever it is, this real estate business is a vehicle for you to get whatever you want out of life. And the best way, the way that you're going to improve your chances of getting that is to, number one, be super clear about what it is you want, right? And why you want it, by the way. Because as we've all determined, this is a pretty stressful business, right? There's pretty
Yes.
high highs and pretty low lows. And, if you're only going to, and I'm not trying to say this number is high or this number is low, but, and I hope I don't offend anyone here, but if all you want to make is 25 or 30 grand, boy, you could find a hell of a lot of other ways to make it that are less stressful, right? The reason why we put up with what we put up with is because we get to have the type of impact we get to have, and our paychecks are pretty big. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you may as well go use the real estate business to the best ability and go out there and crush it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think it's this is a little off color, but it popped into my mind. I think it was Kanye West that said, having money isn't everything, but not having money is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And especially in this time, I mean, I'm on a lot of coaching calls and all this stuff, and what we're being told over and over and over again is this is a big, I mean, the world has changed, right? This is like, I don't know if this is in good taste or not, but it's one of those pivotal world events like 9/11 and these kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like we can no longer deny that the world has changed,
Right.
right? And we are most likely heading into a financial shift, an economic shift, right? People will be behaving differently from this point forward. Sales will happen differently from this point forward. And what gives you some what should give you some comfort is that it's still a relationship-based business, and in a shifted and chaotic environment, the people that come out ahead are those that are the most prepared, right? And the most focused on the items of priority, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Keller Williams went into the last shift number 5 in the country. We came out number 1, never to look back, right? Remax
Yeah.
Greater Atlanta was the biggest Remax franchise in the world prior to last shift. Now they don't even exist, right? So in
Yep.
shifted environments, agents generally go to places where there's the most education and support. Is there anyone on this call that believes there is a company out there that has a better system of support or a better system of education than Keller Williams?
Mhm.
I don't think so either. Okay, so now's a good time to examine all your financial situation. Look at your business budget, look at your financial budget, look at your personal budget. Is there anything in here that's not being used properly? Am I wasting any money? Because the more cushion you have, the more comfortable these next couple of months are going to be. There's school systems across the country that have flat out canceled their whole school year.
Mhm.
I'm like 3 days into being at home with my kids, and I'm like, I'm hardly even running the homeschooling, and it's stressful.
My daughter's a school counselor at St. Francis High School. So yeah,
Well, I'll tell
it's
you
the whole
what,
year. They're closed
there's
for the
one
year.
thing I've learned. I mean, I've learned a lot of things, but if there's one thing I've learned in particular in the last couple of days, it's that teachers are underpaid.
Mhm.
Yes.
And interestingly enough, do you know what profession tends to make a really good real estate agent?
Teachers.
There you go.
Teachers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. These teachers have been slaving over their businesses. I mean, doing all kinds of lesson preps and staying up at night and buying their own kids' supplies and all this craziness. And they make 40 grand a year, roughly. Teachers are the most patient, the most organized, the most compassionate people out there. Are those probably not and learning based, by the way, are those probably not 4 of the most common attributes of successful real estate agents? Organized, patient, compassionate, learning based.
Mhm.
Yes.
One line I'll end with this thought real fast is one script that I've been using a lot lately is this idea of what would have to happen for fill in the blank. What would have to happen for you to list your home with me today? What would have to happen for you to buy this home? What would have to happen for you to buy in March rather than August? Right? It's not salesy, it's just direct.
Mhm.
Right? What would you call the other agent you're representing a buyer, let's say, and you call the listing agent and say, hey, I know it's probably, multiple offers or whatever, but what would have to happen for my client to win?
Mhm.
Well, you would need to let them keep the mounted TV and close the first week in April. Done. Thank you. Right? You never know what they're going to say. Maybe it's reasonable, maybe it's not. But if you don't ask directly, you're not going to find out. Right?
Yeah.
I was on coaching a woman this morning, and she said, so I'm going to make this really easy for you. I want you to send me all of your broker codes and fax numbers and all the stuff, at the bottom where you have to wait for the other agent to fill it out to get a binding contract. It's kind of a pain in the ass. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
They just send it to me. I want to make it so easy. All you got to do is sign. I'll do all that stuff for you. Right?
Yep.
What would have to happen for us to get into business together? What would have to happen for you to list this home with me tonight? Because I'm ready to go to work. They want an aggressive agent, right? They don't want another friend. They got enough friends. They just need an aggressive agent to get the job done. Make sense?
Mhm.
And I'll give you this other hobby, this other thought too, is I'm finishing the Hold book, and there's a line at the end of the Hold book that stood out to me. And it's actually where they're talking about running a property management company, basically. But the line in there says, if you treat it like a hobby, it will pay you like a hobby.
Mhm.
And if you treat it like a business, and by the way, it could be anything, right?
Mhm.
If you treat it like a business, then you will be absolutely amazed at the results you earn. Right?
Yeah.
and I'm just getting, they're all coming, all these thoughts are coming to me. So I'll end with this one. Basically everybody out there, no matter what production level, experience level they're at, there's two primary things that they're struggling with. And I think I alluded to this earlier: management of time, management of money.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Let me ask you, Dee, you make $125,000 to $150,000 a year. Let me ask you, if you could have more time or more money right now, which would you choose?
More time.
Why?
Definitely.
Right?
Because my butt is being kicked every day.
Interesting. So who in your life is helping you move that, secure more time?
Yeah, I need more time for family time. I need more
so your
time.
broker's no good? Okay, maybe you ought to talk to mine.
Okay.
I'm being a little jovial here with you, but
yeah.
Ultimately what you need to do is find out what their pain point is. Right?
Give them a solution. Yeah.
And then solve it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Hang on just one quick second. Okay. So most people are going to have either they would want more time, and that's a leverage discussion,
Mm-hmm.
or they want more money, and that's a systems discussion, a technology discussion, a scripting discussion, etc. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you also to think, when you get your training calendar every month, I want you to try to identify something on that training calendar that you could bring a guest to. Okay. So for example, if it's a class on the 6 personal perspectives, or it's a class on business building, or if it's a class on command, or if it's a class on, what people learn from being at family reunion, or any of that kind of stuff. Just try to make it a habit to bring a guest to a class, I don't know, once a month, let's say.
Okay.
Right? The career visioning, I had 2 guests in the room. Okay. One has already joined Keller Williams, and one is about to join Keller Williams. They're just waiting for a contract to close. Okay. Let us do the heavy lifting. We're a technology and training company. All they got to do is walk in the door, and it will be instant before they realize there's a better place for them to run their business.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Also, well, this is a little different, but I had done you guys got me on I'm all geeked up today.
Okay, that's good
I'm ready
for
to
us.
talk today. So, invite people to bowl, right? Invite people to anything, right? Get them in front of somebody that's tech savvy and embracing the Keller Williams culture. And it's checkmate time. Okay.
Okay.
Anytime you guys have a question, if you need help on your business, or if you need help on your recruiting efforts, I am more than happy to help you. My assistant is spending a fair amount of time, probably at least an hour to 2 hours a day, helping myself recruit and the others that I'm working with recruit. And that is a long-term investment that I'm proud to continue to make. I am incredibly grateful for everything you guys are doing and with helping buyers and sellers buy and sell. And my family and I are incredibly grateful for helping grow your own profit share trees and my profit share trees. So thank you. And please let us know how we can help one another. Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Was this helpful?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to make sure, Bill, did this start at 1?
It did. I actually, I've been recording it, so I can pop I'm not exactly sure how I'll figure out how to share it, but I will make sure that everyone has a way to listen back to this. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I came in about 1:05, and you were well undergone, so I was like, oh, okay, I finished about 5 minutes.
I've shared all the good stuff at 1 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah, you missed everything.
Right. Came in
You missed it
1:05.
all.
All right. And D is in Woodstock.
Uh-huh.
Michelle is in West Cobb, right?
Yes.
And a T is in Tucker. So anyone that doesn't want to go to any of those places, let's support each other.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. We need to
All right.
connect.
Of course.
Talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Can we
of course.
exchange information through email? Can you
Yeah, or the little text chat that I set up, everyone's on.
Oh,
So if you want to
okay.
put it on there, that's good.
Oh,
Okay.
Bill, before we go.
Yeah.
I need some new and improved links for my email that I send out to recruits
Perfect.
when I get them on the phone, because some of the ones I feel are not, well, they're just not up to date.
Yeah, and honestly, a lot of it's overkill too, I think. So I'll put out a few things that I think are super important.
Okay.
And you guys can edit your emails accordingly. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys. Have a great day.
Bye.
Hey, thanks y'all too. Bye.
Appreciate
Bye.
it. Thank you. Bye.